morning. May 19th. Giving without strings. And he well knows that his own life has been made richer as an extra dividend of giving to another without any demand for a return. The concept of giving without strings was hard to understand when I first came into the program. I was suspicious when others wanted to help me. I thought, what do they want in return? But I soon learned the joy of helping another alcoholic, and I understood why they were there for me in the beginning. My attitudes changed, and I wanted to help others. Sometimes I became anxious, as I wanted them to know the joys of sobriety, that life can be beautiful. When my life is full of a loving God of my understanding, and I give that love to my fellow alcoholic, I feel a special richness that is hard to explain. From the Daily Reflections. I think it's, good morning, how are you? I hope you're all right. I am I don't know if I feel groggy or just the humidity got to me and wore me out already. I don't know. It's hard to tell. If you get out in it, let me know what you think. I have a wild eyelash growing here. I think I got it. So as far as the reading goes about giving without expecting something in return, that's a biggie. Not a lot of people are brought up that way. There's usually reciprocity at some level. And even if you're doing it for free, you accidentally get something back. Even if it's a lesson learned on who not to freely give to anymore. Because if they don't appreciate it, it should not be spent in that way. Because that means you are not helping another man. And that goes for a family member, your neighbors, a stranger. It doesn't matter. Think about it. If you understand that we're all related by blood and we decide to pick one over another, how fair is that? In God's kingdom, in my God's kingdom, we're all related. So if I'm doing for you and you don't appreciate it, that means that's something I'm not doing for my neighbor. So I have to learn who to give to and not give to through experience, through trial and error, or through reputation. And that's okay too. I know some people are like, I have to keep giving and giving because that's my child. Well, everyone is our sister and brother. Yes, some of us give birth and some of us don't. But if you give birth to someone, they are your child brother or child sister, sort of. I know that sounds weird, but in the spiritual sense, it's just, I don't know. When it comes to giving, freely. That's the magic, is being able to give in a way that doesn't hurt anyone. It doesn't cost anyone. It doesn't cost them for me to help them. And it doesn't cost me to help them. Because even if it's a 10% tithing, 10% is designed to not hurt me. If I'm living in within my own means and not overspending, 10% shouldn't hurt me. Now, there's also that fascinating twist to allowing someone else to help us, which many of us grew up knowing then we owed somebody, and we would carry that around with us. Well, they helped me again and again, deservedly so, because you're doing better and better, and that help is helping you along your way. But then there's this, but I owe them. Kind of feeling, and then we pull back in the relationship sometimes. Because we feel like I can't keep taking from them, or it looks like I'm using them, and I'm trying not to slip back in my old ways. There's all kinds of ways to look at that. So freely given. Because if it were that simple and uncomplicated, it'd be easier to understand. But when you start twisting it up with your childhood experiences, with emotional prostitution, being sober means not just, eventually, you graduate from not just being physically sober, but to emotional sobriety. That's the big thing. Nobody wants to live with a dry drunk on purpose. So try to see if when you are giving something today, sharing something today, whether it's coming from a clean place in your heart, or is it coming from guilt or shame? See, that's part of the freedom too. It's not giving out of shame or guilt, but giving out of that, well, basically it's a good trade. I feel good when I help people. And it always feels good when I help people and it doesn't cost me more than what I'm sharing. It shouldn't cost more than what I'm sharing. It shouldn't put if I'm sharing something, it shouldn't put my family out, me out, or other people who deserve it more or need a first chance at being helped. It needs to be fair to everyone. In my opinion, nobody should be punished for my generosity. Does that make sense? And that includes my own family, my own friends. I shouldn't have to feel like I'm doing without to be able to help you. Otherwise, things get balled up. It's also an Al-Anon thing. a lot of times we give and give and give and give and give, and then we accidentally, start building up a resentment. Like, look at everything I've done for you. Then you get sick. Then it's harder to make decisions. It's harder to make decisions when you're feeling self-righteous. But I'll tell you the wonderful, magical gift of sharing your experience, strength, and hope, direction towards a job, direction towards housing, just to help support people when that's what they're trying to do, is get on with their lives. It's a wonderful thing. It's actually such a wonderful thing. I wonder if I can. All right. So I don't know. It's a wonderful, if you get a chance to just pay attention to how and why you're giving, and then the results of the giving. Ask yourself, why are you giving again or still to certain organizations? Are you truly happy with where your money's going, what's being done with it? Or do you even know? Do you know where your money's going, where your efforts are going, whatever your donation is? Do you really know? Because some people don't. I didn't for a while. I was just having it taken out of an automatic withdrawal. I had no, I don't know. We do what we do until we don't do it anymore. And I like being able to give from a place of knowledge and prayer. I have to say that in Alcoholics Anonymous, that's where I learned how to give in a way that made more sense to my soul. That was pretty neat. Still filling in that bald spot there. See, it's getting a little longer. That's good. Starting to look a little more, I don't know. It's just, some of it's age, Some of it's age. Some of it is not stress. Some of it is age. Some of it was stress. But, and giving to ourselves is really important. Giving to ourselves, not being stingy with ourselves. It's funny because I had a friend who, she said something like, the way she said it was so poetic, or like a quotable quote. So I don't know where she got it, or she made it up. She's very intelligent, so she might have just popped off with it. Spend money on things that you're going to use every day. Buy on the cheap if it's something you're going to use once, or seldom. If you're seldom going to use it, just buy the cheap brand or buy the cheap product. Don't overinvest in it. Like a jet ski. Go rent it. Go spend about a couple bucks and rent it. Or a convertible that you're never going to drive. Or an RV that you're seldom going to use. Or an outfit you're seldom going to wear. Rent it or buy the cheap. I've got beautiful, expensive gowns sitting in my closet that have been worn once or not at all, because I kept thinking, well, I will wear it. I will. I will. I need a trim. Where is, look how long that is. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. You know I gotta go. But it's gonna be a busy day. I'm just babbling. So I think the great experiment today is paying attention to how we give. I used to give a lot at work in my career. And then I realized it's fair to expect a fair pay for a fair day's work. And there are a lot of people who have been cheating the system for a long time, and they have never given a fair day's work. And I know it. I know it. And I had people confess that to me. No big deal. It's just, it's time to start doing that. People say, well, I donate in other ways. If you're getting paid to do a job, do a job. One thing I was doing, and this is just as, it's still in there, is giving way more than you're getting paid for. Because then you're allowing someone to use you. And that's not what God wants for us either, right? God doesn't want us to feel used. He wants us to feel blessed and loved. Believe it or not, it's true. All right. Frankie and I are going to work. Ready? Okay. Bye for now.